Good afternoon, President.
Well, good things are definitely happening. You hear that our Métis entrepreneur, they're speaking of a typical Métis life, having three different skill sets and trying to make a living by spreading out his skills. And Métis have been, all throughout its economy, has got skill sets that really have to evolve with the variety, not just one. And sometimes in this day and age, it is just one. But a lot of times the Métis of the old used to make sure that they had a right to be, or not a right, a skill to be a carpenter, to build something. Then they'd go and fish, and they go do other stuff to make a full income for the year. So kudos to him. I'm very proud of his message and his farm. And I know Tom is obviously one of our citizens with great pride, and I really appreciate it very much. I hope he's registered with our repair housing program, because he wants to deal with small electrical needs.
Oh, yeah.
If he's not, Tom, make sure you're registered, you're still listening, because we are always short electricians on that particular sector. And once you're in there and they select you, then you don't even have to tender. They'll bid, they'll send it to you, the job, and then you have to send in the numbers. But they measure them. Trust me, they don't just do it to give you whatever you ask for. They look at what the trend would be and the cost would be to see comparable. So. But it's a good thing about that is that Will Goodon was the minister. We talked about making sure our Métis entrepreneurs, especially in the electrical carpenter field, I think there's over 2,600 houses yet to be repaired. And so we definitely were always needing of that. So I don't know why Amanda's calling me at 12 o'clock. She knows I'm on the Métis hour. I just seen her calling me here, cutting off my view and my Métis hour report. I'll have a chat with her after. That's 2 weeks in a row she's done that. So I'll have a chat with her later. But anyways, let's get the birthdays out of the way so we can. Again, Tom, kudos to you, man. You make me proud. Birthday party, 45th birthday is going out to my niece, Robin Sugar Janai, who's celebrating her birthday on Monday, May 26th.
Oh, happy birthday.
I know, she's getting up there, boy. And that's coming from Glorian and all of her family and myself, of course. And we'll have to do something for her. She always spoils everybody. It's our job to spoil her now. So, and this is a good one. Happy birthday is going to Asia.
Happy birthday!
Yeah, Asia's she says 40. I don't know about that.
I believe her.
Her birthday is Tuesday, May 27th. Her mom texted me this morning to remind me because her mom had her 60th birthday on May 18th.
Yeah.
So Donna, happy birthday to you, and Asia, happy birthday to you, and of course Skylar, Asia's daughter, she plans to be the president of the future. So
she does.
I think she's 12 years old, but she has a plan, and she said she is going to be the president one day of the federation. So I look forward to that. Happy 40th birthday is also going to my nephew Kendall Chartrand from his mom, my sister Rita, and Al, and the rest of the family. So happy 40th, Kendall Chartrand. Also, Jean Durocher, Jean Chaboyer, Jean Durocher. Jean was our cabinet minister. He's passed on, and that was just a quick mistake. But Jean Chaboyer is having his 89th birthday on June 4th. So a happy 89th birthday.
Wow.
And I want to say again, congratulations to Richard, Janai, and Maribel. They get married on Friday. I don't know if you're still going to come, Naomi.
I'm trying, yeah.
Yeah. So they're having some kind of shower for her in Winnipeg tomorrow. I think Glory and them are hosting it. And they're having a shower for Maribel. And Richard, of course, is madly in love, found his love in the Philippines, and she's a great woman. She's a great catch, a great find, and it's going to save my nephew, to be honest with you. It's not the other way around. And so, but there's also an important meeting happening right now in Dauphin. It started yesterday. It's the Red Dress Alert. And that's a new program that now has been initiated where missing and murdered women or anybody missing is quickly alerts the public at large. And so there's a lot of attendance. And Fran and Nita, I want to thank them again. Nita is a spokesman of the Infinity Woman, and Francis is the Minister of Health. And they're hosting the meeting in Dauphin. I think Nahani was there and a few others. Thank you, Nahani, for attending that meeting. I know Nahani takes that very personal, and she has a great passion for trying to find a solution that we find ways to stop this horrendous, tragic events of where women are abused and murdered and stolen. And we got to find ways how we stop that. So, and one of the ways is starting to talk to each other and have a good dialogue. So that's going to be very, very important. I think, for these type of meetings to hear people's views and ideas so they can get a better position. But again, what's important for this is the issue of making sure, like our program, we still have that $1 million set aside for missing and murdered women, for putting it out as a opportunity that they would get $10,000 if they would provide information that would find the missing woman, missing person, missing boy, missing girl. And so that $1 million is still there. We used it several times, and we'll continue to use it. People do apply, and I think they're choosing some. I think there's 4 more that are going out. But again, as I reported on the show, there's a lot of work involved in this. You can't just put that out and then not include the RCMP or the police services, because once that thing gets into the outlet in the media, they get a ton of calls.
Right.
From everybody who may think something or have an idea, and they share it with the police. But to see if what they believe or heard or seen is the solution to finding her or him that's gone missing.
Right.
So the police got to be part of it, because if not, it'll cause a great issue. Again, some of the things that I think are important also to reference. When you do the application, if there's not a follow-up soon to you, make sure you get something out back to our offices. I want to make sure, because Anita and them are running this program. Anita and I think Francis is involved. I think there's a few other cabinet ministers. I just want to make sure that we're using the program to its fullest. And so I want to make sure I don't want to be traveling somewhere and say, well, I applied and I never got a response. I don't like that. So again, if something happens, you don't get a response, it's some oversight or something, make sure you call again, or you can call my office directly and I'll find out what's going on. But I think clearly at the end of the day, these women are working very, very hard to try to make a difference and help families bring their loved ones home. And I hope they will get successful in doing so.
Right.
Some of you may have read the remarks of the union on the arbitrator of the Child and Family Services that took place for Métis Michif and Métis Child and Family, where they awarded substantial findings towards the agency employees. But again, it's something, as you heard me talk on the show, it's not that we don't want to pay them those things. It's just that we don't have the money. The province doesn't fund this properly and has not gotten to a point where the funding meets the obligations as the going costs of services. So that's something we still got to talk to our province about. They'll talk to Nahani for sure. The federal government did not come across with 92 yet. Bill 92, of course, is a child and family prevention program, and it's quite, it'll make a big, substantial difference in the child welfare system. But the arbitrator was very generous with money we don't have. He's indicated that every staff employee will get $1,800 as a bonus, and then on top of that, there'll be a pay raise. There's only a 3 years the union's asking, but he give a 4-year pay raise. So I don't know how we can't afford it. The only way we can actually meet the arbitrator's decision is we'd have to lay off another 36 staff this year, another 38 staff next year. So how in the hell does that help the system? It actually destroys the system, because it'll leave the other agency workers with ratios of 1 to 60, 1 to 70 children that they'll be watching. And the rule of law is 1 to 25. And because all the evidence has shown, there's no way a social worker, child care worker, can keep up to beyond 1 to 25 children, because it's such a big workload as it is.
Right.
But going from 150 to 160, 180, that's asking for disaster. It's asking for debt. It's asking for a hardship. And again, it's unfortunate. The union is bragging about it, but the union has to understand. They know what they think they claim it's a victory. If you see their previous arguments, they claim it's a victory now. But how is it a victory if you fought to get raises we can't afford? Only way you can afford is to lay off the staff they're defending or arguing for. How does that work? It doesn't work. The numbers don't work. The position doesn't work. So I assure you, I'm looking at every means. Probably try to appeal this thing and get somebody that, one of the things that upset me about this arbitrator, he said he didn't have a chance to go through everything. He was at the hockey game last night, during the playoffs. That could, that was his attitude. So I'm going to go through it in deeper depth. But I'm telling you, it's not that the Federation does not want to pay all of our staff a 2.75% increase, 2.5, 3% increase. and the bonuses of $1,800 for every employee. But if you don't have the money, how do you do it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so because they only gave us $2.4 million to give raises to the staff to meet because right now the Child and Family Service staff are at about 2017 pay scale. That's totally wrong. And while the general authority, non-Indigenous one, is at 2024, 2025 staff wage level. So this 2017 funding up to date we got would only give us up to 2021 or 22, I believe, or something around that range. We're still behind.
Right.
And so, but to go to this humongous increase that this arbitrator has decided, and even as I said, he went beyond. He went 1 year over to get more.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. He thinks he's. You know what I think it is? Is they see it's the government, and the government has endless money. I do not collect taxes in this province, so have endless money. So, so from that perspective, it's all in the premise of what the province negotiates and what the province is willing to give you to operate the Child and Family Services. So if you don't have the money, then there's a big problem. So right now, we still have a damn good agency. We have good staff, work hard, and they've proven miracles over and over. So, but again, it's unfortunate the arbitrator did not look at all the evidence. He probably did not read it, in my view. Because if he made this decision, he would say, wait a second, how do they get the money?
Mm-hmm.
Think it's blood out of a stone. So from that perspective, I'll keep people posted. Mona's doing an excellent job, and we'll try to educate, if we get an appeal, we'll educate the next person to look at this. I don't want to lay off any more staff. I want to keep what I have, and because even them are overworked already, but I got to keep them. But if I have to follow these rules, I'll have to. There's no way that the agency has to let them go. And then I'm going to hurt all the staff. We will hurt all the staff because there'll be, as I said, a ratio between 1 to 40, 1 to 30, 50 or higher. It's just not achievable for any child social worker to be doing that. It just doesn't make sense. It'll damage and hurt children and put them at risk. Anyways, I'll keep you posted, the listeners out there, and we're doing our best to make sure that we pay our staff the best we have with what we have and what the government gives us. So that's the deal we have with the province right now. And as I said, I'll be raising this in the honey, and Mona will be meeting with her as soon as possible. And I'm sure they're reading the arbitration decision, and they'll have to get involved some form or some way. And if everything pans out, they give us the money, I'm very happy. But it looks like it's going to be hard to get more money from the province. So we'll see what happens, and we'll keep you posted.
Okay.
On the other update on Child Special Allowance, I can't say how proud I am. We're 915 members now that received their payments from the CSA.
That's awesome.
That's Special Allowance money. That's $24,216,000 been given out. You know, so that's really beautiful to see. And of course, there's a case that we won in court, and we negotiated a settlement with Manitoba. It was $530 million. We got $86 million for our children care. First Nations got the rest, over $400 and something million. I'm not sure where they're at with their checks to their class members, but we are at already 915 have received their payday. So, and they're very pleased. A lot of them are investing it. A lot of them are using it wisely. And we, as I said, we also have a financial officer. Some of them are, I think, $60,000, $70,000. Some of their checks, because some of them have been there a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So we get a financial officer to guide them in the system if they need it, and to make sure that they can address their needs. On another note, again, I caution all those people out there: be careful with these fires that are coming. If you're going out, don't make a fire. Quads are not eligible to be driven in most places, I think, in the province right now.
Right.
Because it's not that the province is trying to be mean or anything. It's just that the sparks and the muffler in this particular dry season can cause fire in the grass, especially marshes, to start on fire. And the way the wind's blowing right now is so powerful, it could be quickly out of control, and danger comes with it. So there is, of course, fires in the north, Rat Lake, I believe, Cranberry Portage in that section. I was getting pictures sent to me, and then, of course, in Lac Tabani area, a lot of damage was done, and there was 2 that passed away in that fire. But it's still, the smoke is still there. I see it out there in this area.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but I want to say something about our premier. I know he's invited a Throne speech to go to Ottawa on Tuesday, I believe, the Throne speech. That's probably Monday. And, I was discussing business with him on another matter, and we did talk about the fires and his concerns, and if anything we can do to help the Métis, if there's a way, and then we can do to help him. So, but what I was proud about, he said, well, the Throne speech could come after. He said, if necessary, if If I hear something that's not putting our people, Manitobans, in danger, then I'm staying behind, and I could read some speech. So you can see where his priority lies. It lies with the Manitobans, lies with all our people, and not just Métis, all Manitobans. And it makes me proud to hear him say that to me, and that'll come first before rushing out to see the Prime Minister and discuss where we fit into the future of the Throne speech. But again, just for him to say that the Manitoba will come first, and I can that'll be my number one priority. So again, kudos to you, Premier Canoe. It's good to know that he truly makes me proud. Anyway, as a Manitoban, especially as a leader myself. I've been president now going on 30 years, and I passed through a lot of premiers and a lot of prime ministers, and so I see that Wob is a very special leader, and he's got overcome a lot, and I think he's going to make some great things. Of course, he's going to be challenged too. Not everybody's going to like it, what he does and what he does, his positions. But at the end of the day, I could tell his heart's in the right place and his commitment's in the right place. So kudos to our premier in Manitoba. I have great respect for him. On another note, what my time is here, I got to check. I got time.
You got time, yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm having a meeting this week with a new company, and it's called Live Different. It assists Indigenous people and peoples in need, kids, youth, and me with Charles and Paige on, I believe, the 27th. And that's a program where they were up north. They were in Nelson House recently, and they go out and help communities and youth in finding solutions and how they can help out. It's a volunteer program for the board, and they just participate to see if they can make a difference and help out. So I'll know more about it. I'll report more on it next Saturday.
Okay.
But I know right now I'm working on our youth camp, and our youth camp, I instructed my minister, I want that camp started as soon as possible in Duck Mountains. The Lake of the Woods will take a little longer because we have to invest quite a few $1 million into that operation because it's going to be sport athletic. It's going to be all kind of programming that'll be attached to that. But as I said, you know that at the end of the day, our youth mean everything, and we need to make it proactive for them that they too can enjoy these opportunities that usually their families can't afford. Of course, there'll be no charges to them to come to the camp, and we want to make sure. And the same thing with the sports at Lake Camp. It is not going to only be Métis. We'll allow First Nations to come in there, and I'll meet with the chiefs and talk to them about covering some of their costs to get there. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure, because if it's a baseball team, a hockey team, they're not just all Métis, they're not just all First Nations, but they're still a team. They're a group, and they should be trained together, supported together. So the camp will also be open to those individuals in non-Indigenous kids that are part of these sports groups that make a big difference. And the goal at the end of the day on that, Naomi, is to keep proactive priority, because we've got to get our kids off the negativity and the easy access to looking at a way of life differently. And usually sometimes they choose the wrong path, and then you could lose them in there. And once you lose them, next thing you know, they're in prisons, and they're meaner than they should ever be, and they give up on life, and they just become worse in society. And we need to stop it, because they never were that way. And just the one mistake is sometimes all it takes. So I want the youth camp to be very proactive. I want our kids to know that they matter. I want our kids to know that we have to be there to support them. And like I said, if they don't have a sleep blanket, don't worry about it. We'll buy you that sleeping blanket to come to the camp. So again, there'll be announcements coming up very shortly in the Duck Mountain camp. They're starting off, I think, day camp, and then eventually it'll be overnight camp. It's designed for overnight, but we'll start off with a day camp. We'll have to have our buses driving them in and out. And there'll be everything from canoeing to cultural teachings, understanding the world, the earth, and so the plants. And we'll have elders there talking. And like an elder changed my life, and I was 44 years old. And I was at a justice conference. And that elder changed my life at that one statement, changed my life. And 44, I worked for Department of Justice, and we're talking about court models and how crime can be prevented or suppressed and ensuring safety in our villages. And how did they do it when there was less police at the time and less interaction with the system of justice, and yet they kept peace in the community. So they talked about family clans, they talked about leadership, how the elder of the family is always the one that speaks for the family, and they would say how they would go to each other, talk to each other's families to resolve it. They didn't run to the courts because the courts would Crown plays victim, so Crown is the victim, not the real victim, the family. So they had ways of controlling it, and it made good sense. And then that's when he asked me. He said, "Your name is David Chartrand." I said, "That's my name." And he said, "So how long?" He said, "How do you want that name to be remembered?" I said, "I hope you remember good things about me." Mm-hmm. And I wasn't president then. Of course, I was only 44. So he said to me, "Well," he said, "it depends how you run your life from now on to the end. If you run your life honestly and good, people remember you for that. You run your life where you start to be a drunkard, you'll be remembered as a drunk. If you lead your life where you start to steal, you'll be remembered as a thief." Mm-hmm. And so on and on and on. He gave me examples. Then he said something right here that changed my life forever. He said, "Well, how long do you think you're going to live?" I said, "I don't know." I was 44. And then he says, "Well, what do you think?" I said, "Well, according to statistics, our indigenous people die sooner than everybody else. Mm-hmm. So Métis are no different. We die sooner than non-indigenous people because of our health conditions and struggles." So I said, "Well, probably 70. "Okay," he said, and this is what changed my life right here. He said, "What are you going to do for the next 26 years?" Mm-hmm. And I thought, holy Christ, I'm talking about finding out that I'm going to live only 26 years. And that's how quick that's going to go, right? And because as a young person, you don't think of death that way. Right. You think, you're going to live forever kind of concept. And you forget about it. You don't think about it. But then he changed me by telling me I only got 26 years and what I'm going to do with my next 26 years. So that really changed the way I thought and the way I think. And so if I was right, I said to everybody, if I'm right with that elder's guidance at that time, I was 44, but I'm 65 now. I may only have 5 years to go.
Oh, no.
But the point is this. The point is, and for people listening, and especially our youth and our families, young adolescents, young men and women, you got to think about you're not going to live forever. So ask yourself, how do you want to be remembered? And ask yourself, if you're going to live for whatever part of life you still have, how are you going to keep yourself into a position where you'll carry that name well? You'll carry that name to mean something, mm-hmm. and carry on. It's like I told, I was in the hospital yesterday. I had a small operation. I was in actually deep pain, but a small operation. And there's a lady sitting there with a baby and waiting for a doctor. It was taking forever. Anyway, so I said to her, "Oh, a beautiful baby boy. What's his name?" And she said, "Oh, I won't say the name." And she named the name. And I said, "Oh, is named after somebody in the family?" I said, "Grandpa or Dad or?" No. He said, just got the name. She said, "I liked it." Oh, I said, "Okay." And so I explained to her what I did when Martha was born. Mm-hmm. My daughter was trying to name her a bunch of fancy names from the magazines. And I said, "No, you're not. You're going to name her after Cuckoo, after mm-hmm. my mom. Mm-hmm. You're name her Martha. And she's going to have to work hard to remember to carry that name. She has to remember that name and carry that she's carrying a very proud name, a name that's very honored by her children. So she has a responsibility." So they named her Martha, Frida, Lisa. Frida is her dad's mom, mm-hmm. and Lisa is my daughter's mom. So she carries three mothers, grandma's names. Mm-hmm. So I always remind my daughter, you've got to carry those names with great pride and honor. So when you're naming a child, sometimes you got to think about it. What does that mean? What's legacy is going to be left behind in that? So not that I'm telling people, not trying to dictate to people in Naomi. I'm trying to tell us my story, how I saw it, and how important it is that Elder guided me, how my name is going to be important, and how I carry that name.
I think that's a good way to think, though.
Yeah, it is. I tell you, it changed my life. At 44, that guy changed my life forever. So, anyways, on other matters, I'll close off. They'll give you further updates. Of course, the Métis Nation Ontario put out some kind of damn release saying that they're all Métis, and actually they were with us during the war, which is absolutely not true. Because you think about this, so that's such a, it angers me mm-hmm. because that's a lie. It angers me because it's untrue in so many ways, and at the same time, it sends a message that when people try to deceive the people through media in different ways, that sometimes they'll get caught. Because if you look at the war that happened in 1816, for example, mm-hmm. the battle, well, that wasn't planned. It wasn't that there was an army meeting at this point in place in history, and our army is coming from this side. they were going to trade, and by the Green Brier Hotel, which is Seven Oaks called, and we call it now Frog Plain, the Victory of Frog Plain.
Mm-hmm.
But that accidental death that took place there wasn't accidental on one side. They shot ours first, and we shot them all except one lived. So, and when you look at it, so it wasn't a plan. How can they have been there? How could they have been there to come and fight with us when there was no fight? We're taking our product to market in the United States for trade,
mm-hmm.
and they came to stop us. And then one got overzealous on their side, made a mistake, and shot one of ours. And then, of course, we shot them, all of them except one. And one of them lived.
Mm-hmm.
So how, that just drives me absolutely insane that these people can just say, they're like Donald Trump now. They just lie like crazy. So I see the Ontario Chiefs are taking this very seriously, and they're taking a strong position on that right now. And I think it's the, what's the abbreviation there? I'm going to find it here somehow. I think they call them Saugeen. It's not Saugeen here. Saugeen, yeah, Ojibwe Nation. It's not Saugeen, Saugeen, Ontario.
Oh, Saugeen, yeah.
Yeah, they're taking the position that their evidence, their positions in a document, they've been reviewed and analyzed, is absolutely not true. And Ontario is making a lot of stuff up, and there was no distinct community in that area, et cetera, et cetera. So, but again, people do think crazy things, and they think they could just get away with it by saying it. So Ontario's going to keep them to task, and so will we, because they are, again, the only MNC, for example, is not a legal existing entity anymore. It only has two people. Even Alberta has been broken in so many parts right now because of the leadership they had there. You have a new leader, but I haven't seen change. But the old leader that was there, Patra, led to such a direction that the province started to break apart. The north broke away, I think, 8 or 12 communities. Settlements have always stood for themselves. The south, some of it's breaking away. So even them, they're not representing all the Métis in Alberta. So when you look at it that way, there's only them, Alberta, and MNO that's part of MNC. And so they're not a legal entity anymore, but they're still putting out ads and pulling out stuff that they are a legal entity and they represent the Métis, which is absolutely not true. So with that being said, I'll close off. I'll give you further more report on that file. That'll be an ongoing file. Minister Goodon is leading that file at the same time, and he's doing an excellent job.
Mm-hmm.
But let me say this, happy congratulations to Debbie and Rick Copel. They're celebrating their 41st wedding anniversary.
Oh,
so,
happy anniversary.
Debbie and Rick. I'm sure they're listening right now. And I'll have to send you guys a gift now. But it's usually a special at 50, so I'll send you a small gift. Spoiled. Anyways, I'm going to say again that thank you to all the elders. You heard my story here. I want to make sure that everybody knows that the importance of guidance is so essential. That's why elders will be part of our youth camp in the Duck Mountains and also in the Woodlands.
Mm-hmm.
They're essential that they're part of the ability to tell a story, guide history in the context of tying it into your present state and who you are and what you do, but also sharing what we have in the world to protect. Environment's changing on us rapidly, and elders will tell you that right now. They know that the environment is changing. They see it, they feel it. Even the sun. The sun, I believe, is a lot hotter than it typically is. Because I don't know if people have noticed that, but it seems the sun burns you very quick now. So again, it's quite a change in the environment. Look at the forest fires we have now, non-stop. So thank God we got a good premier right now that's is putting a lot of effort to help save lives and save communities. But at the same time, how long can we keep this going? How long can we keep finding money to try to battle these issues? And I want to, again, close off to a special birthday. And this is Julie making sure. Julie, I was about to say something about it to my closing, but he reminded me. He said, don't forget Terry. Mm-hmm. Terry, of course, is Julie. That's my brother's daughter, Julie. And her son is turning 30, Terry Jr. Mm-hmm. He's turning 30 years old. And his girlfriend, Christian's 29th birthday is also the next day. They're 1 year apart, one day apart in birthdays, etc. So that old lady, Julie, she's thought I'd forget, but I did forget. I'll do a nice little closer at the end because he's, again, my nephew and them. So I want to say special. And he's such a good boy. He's such a good boy. He's a 30-year-old. I still call him a boy, but he's a good man, very respectful, and Julie raised him very well. Mm-hmm. And his girlfriend and him get along so well, and I hope that continues for the rest of their life. So take care, everybody, and say hi. My nephew is back, Daniel Chartrand. Of course, he got injured and got in the hospital in the United States when he was playing hockey. He plays professional hockey in the States. But he's back here, and I'm very, very proud to see that he's back home safely, and the operation went well. So I'll get to see him soon, I guess. So with that being said, talk to you guys next Saturday, and happy birthday to those I did not be reminded of. But again, thank you very much.
All right. Take care.
Okay, we'll see you. Thank you. Bye-bye.